On this episode of DragonCast, we're going to be looking at how to draw a dragon, we're going to look at fan art, and we're going to have a very special guest on board, Zoe. I'm your host, Dean Bowes. This is DragonCast. So welcome back to DragonCast, and today is a very awesome episode for you because we have a very special guest on today. Would you like to introduce yourself to the DP community and what got you involved with DP?
Of course. My name is Zoe, and I have been a caster and a host for various esports related games, also non-esports related games, for about 7 years now.
Wow.
So quite some time, normally on stage on various big events all over the world. And also we do studio shows for various games. And well, what got me involved with Dragon's Prophet? I'm a big MMORPG fan. I like dragons, so
we all like dragons.
The easy math there. Yeah. I'm just always looking out for new games, and when Dragon's Prophet came out, I was like, I'm gonna give that a try. I actually quite like it.
So we actually brought out a contest back in October, which you took part in. You could enter a video, and it could be anything about Dragon's Prophet, and one was based on likes, one was based on Infernum's choices, and you did come runner-up in both. We really loved it. As you can see here, this is Zoe drawing Kronos. So what actually got you involved with drawing and you sculpture? You do models as well, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I basically do everything. It really ranges from sculpting to like I'm doing wood carving, I'm doing stone carving and engravings. I'm doing
in your spare time.
In my spare time. So as you can tell, I love to try out everything. And it's a lot of fun. I do a lot of tagging, graffiti and stuff as well. Okay. So that's been ever since I'm a little kid, really ever since I could hold a pen. One of my uncles, Henk is his name, he's a comic artist. And he's always been like my big idol. And I always wanted to become a comic artist too. So I just always tagged along when he illegally went to graffiti out there in the streets.
Well, I can show you some of, back in March, I think it was last year, we had a Fanart Contest. I can show you some entries right now if you want.
I would really like to see that, yeah.
Right, let's have a look. We chose 5 to just show, and the winner, Stockings, she did a black and white nighttime image with the Osiris sign. I mean, I think it looks awesome.
I really like it. It's actually really hard to draw in black and white, because obviously all the features have to stick out even more, and you really have to know where to put the shadows and everything. So I really like that. It's nice.
She did a good job of highlighting the moonlight coming onto the land, and like you said, making the features stand out. So that was the fan art that we had from the players, and we had Gripwolf, if that's how I pronounce his name right. That's my favourite one. And then there were a few others who submitted them, and we always get these all the time. And if you want to continue, feel free to post it on the forums. We have a creative corner section. People still do quite often. Talking about fan art as well, this is not really fan art, but it's art. We asked legendary artist Mike Sass to draw us a dragon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we call him Sadras, the Bone Eater. And this is Sadras in game.
Oh my god, that's awesome. I love the fact that he has that armor going for him. I mean, I don't think there's too many dragons in the game who actually have that kind of armor.
No.
It's just so cool to see like an artwork first and then see it in the game. That's awesome. I like it.
Yeah, that's the best thing. That's what we wanted to do for the players. And what's great as well, we actually have another one coming out by him called Magmaron. Cool. It's a lava dragon, and you can see it here. And he's all like flamey wings and darkness, and his title that you get with him is Incinerator, so it makes sense. So that's Sadras in game, and we have a little special for you guys as well today. That I sat down with Zoe a little bit earlier today before this show, and I'm terrible at drawing dragons. I'm terrible at drawing anyway. Never mind dragons. And as part of our raffle, we want players to submit artwork and fan art, so we thought we'd put together like a little beginner's guide-esque thing where you kind of help players draw maybe what others would find difficult, so claws and heads, and so we'll have a quick look at that footage that we took earlier, and you can explain it.
Let's do that. All right, so like with most of the things, if you want to start with the basics, you start with the basics. That made a lot of sense. You just go with circles, like the initial shapes. So a little one for the head, a bigger one for the chest, and then a little one for the upper thigh, because that's like just the big things, the big parts, and you can basically split the whole dragon down into shapes like that to make it easy.
Is it to get the proportions right? Or
Yeah, basically. I mean, you see, I was completely off with the big shape, so now he kind of looks like a roasted chicken.
Yes.
But we just ignore that part and add some wings. I say it doesn't need to be perfect.
We have some chicken-looking dragons in games.
Yeah, I mean, it's room for everything. There's obviously two different kinds of dragons. There's the one who do have the front legs and the wings, and there's some which don't have front legs but only the wings. So obviously you have to build them up a little bit different than that.
Yeah.
So I just do a rough example of the second one as well, which is basically just that the wings start lower, like more in the front.
I see.
You still go for the same shapes though.
Like the monkeys from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Oh no, they have arms, but yeah, okay.
It's almost, just not exactly.
Just with dragons.
Yeah. And then there's obviously still like those snake-looking dragons, which are normally in more the Chinese dragons.
Well, what's great, we just had a Chinese event actually with these type of dragons in game, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I just want to mention again, I'm not really as good at drawing dragons. I'm not drawing dragons too often. I had a bit too tall here, but yeah, we just got rid of the whole thing. That's just the basic shapes. That's just the basic shapes. Yeah. Obviously, like the things a lot of people have problems with are claws and arms. Yes. So let's quickly show how to do them. That would be a front arm. Again, you can break it down to the circles, big circle, two small ones, bigger one for the hand, and then you can just connect them. It's literally just like drawing stick figures, and then add the rest of the shape.
Right, okay.
You can always just look at lizards and stuff like that, like just have a picture open on the other monitor of lizards and take a look at how you draw the claws. And it just makes it a lot easier because obviously dragons don't exist, but lizards and birds are the two things you can look at.
They do exist. In my world.
Obviously, if it comes to heads, there is a lot of different types you can go for. A lot of them are kind of oriented on the elements, I would say. Okay. So if you go for a fire or an earthy type of dragon, they're normally like big jaws and like the horns always play in a lot. If you have like those, I don't know how that animal is even called. The where the thingy is round. In German it's called Widder. So
there you go.
There you go, Germany. So there's you can always go by those kind of shapes. So what's just really important is that you don't get lost in details. As you can see, I go really rough shapes. I mean, obviously that one looks like a chicken, at least the body. Like everything with the body, you can just ignore. So I was just gonna focus on the head a little bit. If I were to make a real drawing now, I would obviously fix the body eventually. However, for now, I just leave it be and fix the head first and give it some more shape. Important, if you want to color something, don't actually start with colors. You normally should go with black and white, so you just get the idea of where is light, where is darkness. Right. That makes it a lot easier because otherwise, again, you get lost in details. If you start with coloring and if you start with the outlines proper and everything, which is what a lot of people do, I do that. Yeah, you kind of lose track of how it looks like, so it starts to look out of proportion.
Then I throw it in the bin because I don't like it. And then,
shouldn't do that, by the way. Should always keep things. I have so many awful drawings. Like that one.
Chicken.
My dragon chicken. Yeah. It's fine though. It's fine.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so as you see, first go sort out the rough shapes, the body ignoring. Then I start with the outlines a little bit more. Before that, I don't really actually work on them because you can't really do the outlines first and then start the whole thing.
Right.
Again, you are more likely to draw him out of proportions, and it happens really quickly and very easy. So that's just a rough idea on,
very
on how
rough
to draw
and sketchy.
Yeah. You can always just clean it up later on. That's always possible. You can always change stuff. Obviously, the magic of drawing with Photoshop, you can really almost change everything with a few clicks. So it makes it very easy.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that should definitely help the players with the raffle in this show. So speaking of raffle, we'll move on to that part of the show. Today's raffle is all about fan art and dragons. So in today's episode, we want you to submit any fan art, any physical statues, anything art-based to community at dragonsprofiteurope.com.
Someone here.
Yeah, and she knows where it is. I don't. That's terrible. And we will send it in picture form, and we will go over and pick the winners. The winners will have 3 different categories. So we'll have like the best. No, not the best. That sounds terrible. But the one
maybe well drawn, creativity, funny. It's not about drawing well.
Take my job.
It's okay.
Yeah. So those 3 categories. So yeah, it's not about how well you draw it. It's how we find it. I personally will probably pick the funny one because I like.
Me too. I like a good laugh.
Yeah. So to sum up the basics on or tips or anything to do with drawing, do you want to just?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like we already said in the video, and that applies to everything, not only dragons. Just start with the rough shapes. Don't lost in the details. Don't lose yourself in the details. Just go step by step, and you can always, like, if you're not too happy with something, you can always just tweak it and improve it a little bit. I mean, depending on what you're drawing with. If you do that with proper color, then you kind of. Maybe start with a pencil drawing and then just go step by step. Go for the rough shapes and then add more details. Don't go with the colors right away if you're drawing digitally. Start doing it in black and white and then add the colors later. It makes it a lot easier. And I think you should be good to go on a basic level then. And I can't wait to see all the submissions. What are they winning, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I'm a terrible host. So in this episode, you can win a dragon of your choice. Not the bosses though.
So any tameable dragon from the game?
Any tameable dragon of your choice. So there'll be 3 winners and you can all choose your own dragon. We will announce that most likely in an upcoming episode. Not sure when exactly, but I'll let you know via the forums or via Twitter or whatever. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I'll catch you next time.